Hey guys, it's Wednesday. Again, it's in August. It's 101 degrees outside. We're hanging out in the air conditioning. It's time for a daily. It's been a while. I went to Mexico with Laser and went to a show called the 73 Vintage Moto Art Show. That's what it's called. I went to Mexico City, super fun. Came back, been sick for a week and a half. It's been amazing. My first day to actually feel almost normal. I'm not quite there yet, but anyway, the workshop is buzzing. It's been a really, really busy day already, and it's only like what, like 1 o'clock, 1:30. But I have a special treat for you guys, and it's something I wanted to talk about. Since it's here, let's do it. This bike, you know, it's funny. I don't even remember the model of it. It's a Suzuki V-twin. Is it a 400 or a 500? God, you know what? You think I'd remember everything? It's been so long. It's a Suzuki GS450, that's what it is. I have to look on the thing, that's how smart I am. I know almost every motorcycle model I look at, and it's so funny when I come across one that I don't even remember in the slightest bit. And this is one of those bikes, the model. This bike was previously road raced by an old racer who has passed away. I knew him when I first started Revival. I guess it was 2010, so it was a few years in. And a buddy of ours, who's now a friend of ours, Vic, bought this bike as a working Suzuki from him. This officially is what we might call the first custom bike we ever did. You'll see some mismatched stuff. It's not even, it's funny, we've come so far. I'll pull it out here so you guys can get a better look at it maybe. I love this bike, I love Vic. It literally hasn't been back here in like 4 years because he rides it and it's really reliable and he doesn't need anything from us. It came back for some basic maintenance. When I look at it now, with what I know, man, we've come a ways since then. This is all made out of steel, and shaped from steel. It's pretty bad, I gotta say. There's a glass taillight that goes in here. We've already removed it because the bulb was burned out. We're gonna replace an LED in there. This is before we really got into LED lighting. So we did some cutting here and changing of the rear subframe. This is all different under here. Like I said, there's a taillight in there. It came back, I don't know, a couple years after we did it, and we built this custom stainless exhaust for it. We put some drop bars on it that mount in the factory place. We built this gauge surround for the factory gauge that no longer works, so we may have to get into that. Some lights, immediate lights, some better, obviously a better master cylinder and a better clutch perch. God, that clutch is really hard. That needs a little love. There's a switch. There's tiny micro switches on here for the controls. You can see these. We had things to learn. Oh, look at that. Stuff just fell off of it. I wonder why that is. Oh, they must have had it loose for something else. I think they're messing with it. Anyway, we love this bike. It's super cool. He likes it the way it is, but as soon as I saw it the other day, my first thought was, man, can we just redo the whole thing? That's a factory Suzuki tank. I just want to go at it, but I think we're going to leave it like it is. It kind of stands as a testament to how far we've come and how our fabrication skills, our design skills. You got to start somewhere. Even this bit, this is from the road racing days. He left this sticker on there. I wanted to leave that on there. It's a cool bike, runs really well. Let's put a couple sets of tires on it. He's a pilot. He loves the damn thing. Anyway, that's it. We didn't have a name for it. There was no like. Stefan calls it patient zero. I guess that's probably what it is, because we really had to cut our teeth and learn a lot with just a few of the things we did on this bike. Bear in mind, that was 2010 probably when we did this. Yeah, it needs love. It needs a little, I mean, like, it's not so great. I love you, Vic, but this bike is, glad it was cheap. Because I'm sure it was cheap what he paid us. Anyway, what else is going in the workshop? Hey, let's talk about this real quick. This is something that some people Guzzi heads are going to be interested in. So this is so I bought a Guzzi Centauro. If people don't know what that is. A Guzzi Centauro was made in 2000. It was a 99 or 2000, 4-valve, 1000cc Guzzi motor. And if you can see, it's not overhead cam. They called it an overhead cam, OHC, right? They call it an OHC 4-valve. But in fact, the cam is not over the head. It's to the side of the head. So the cam does not ride directly. We'll go some videos in this later. The cam does not ride directly over the valves or what we call lifters. It rides to the side of it. So it still has rocker arms that operate on this side to operate the valves. And then of course it's a belt drive. So this looks really different from a Guzzi. Great motor. I know the guy that designed the bike. I know the guy, I've met them. To me, the Centauro was a really, really ugly machine. It was a great bike. We bought this bike with 800 miles on it, the Centauro, this motor. You can see it looks really rough because it spent time in Florida. We had it partially stripped and we're gonna go ahead and probably take it apart and sandblast the whole motor. And this frame is a Moto Guzzi, I think it was an Eldorado, California. This was the probably mid-2000s as well, Guzzi EV is what they call it. And so you can tell it's a Tonti frame, right? It has the Tonti frame geometry. You've got a slight kick up here that's different from the earlier models. And then you've got a slightly more relaxed frame tube and rake. This is a full custom bike. So we've got two complete running motorcycles, an EV and a Centauro, that both rode just fine. One was a big ass touring bike and one was kind of this sport touring big machine. But neither one in my opinion were that good looking. And we bought this one for the frame, we bought this one for the motor, and they've come together. Now we've got, you can see here, dirt track tires, which isn't standard like practice, but we took the hubs off the EV and obviously the rear swing arm off the EV, off the California. We laced those California hubs to new wheels, right? These are all new 19-inch wheels, front and rear, with this dirt track style tire that we like. The benefit to going with the EV2 was getting, or with the California, was getting clearance. I can see they've put it on here. We already have a clearance issue with the swing arm, but we'll work it out. I know we'll figure it out what to do with that. So that's pretty cool. We may have to go to a skinnier tire, which is what I was afraid of. So anyway, we're getting this stanced. We're gonna be putting in obviously modern forks, and this will become a completely custom bike we're building for a client. This is gonna be a fun one. We might even make our own fuel injection system, because one of the things the Centauro was known for was an iffy fuel injection system that needed work from the factory. Anyway, what else can I talk about? That's a pretty good, this bike. This is one of my favorite bikes. This is for a buddy of ours, Doug. He bought this bike from our other buddy, Colin, and it's meant to be a little bit mixed up, right? Like, we did this custom seat with this cool glittery vinyl. We made a new subframe system. Ty made all this. We built a custom aluminum rear fender. It's meant to look kind of factory and kind of jumbled and mixed up. We even got the sparkly grips up here that match the sparkly seat. And we bought some side covers the side covers that on there, you see how it's kind of messed up. We wanted that, so we bought some more. And this bike's been really reliable. He has a new V7 and he has this V50, and somehow this has ended up being a little more reliable than the V7, the fuel injected modern V7. Hi, Arbot. I'm gonna move this out of your way, put it back where I found it. And I think we should go talk to, that needs a taller kickstand. Let's go talk to Andy. Andy. Ha, hold on, he's cleaning. This is kind of awesome. Where'd he go?
I'm right here, dummy.
Man, you're f***ing good.
That's sneaky.
Super sneaky, that's true.
Getting spooky in my old age.
I wanted to see your phone. Where's your seat phone?
It's in here. It's on the bike.
Oh, it's this bike.
You remember this one?
You know what? We need to give this one a nickname. Let's call it like Loosey Goosey or Finger Tight. Can we call it Finger Tight?
Sure.
All right.
If that makes you happy.
This bike has officially been redubbed the BMW Finger Tight. Is that cool?
I don't know how I feel about that.
I love it. It's finger tight. All right, this actually, of all the bikes that we've ever done, I've named most of them, and most of them have been like that. It's like, hey, let's name this, and then bam, you go, all right, that's it. That's how we name it. We think a lot. We actually have focus groups and people, and we ask everyone's opinion.
You know which one doesn't have a name?
Which one?
The V9.
Oh really? That one does need, you can roll some B-roll over this. That one does need a name. Let's call it like...
Maybe we should ask our...
Freedom.
Ask our friends, our fans.
What should we call...
What should we call it?
What should we call this bike? I think we call it Freedom. D-U-M-B.
It's terrible.
Okay, so
So,
since we did a video update, because I remember probably
it's been a while.
I came in here and you showed me the tank cover. I showed with Alec the giant rake.
We talked about all the things that
Right.
were wrong with it.
Yeah, let's get over here to the side laser so you can see it. You want to look at this in profile to kind of see the difference. That's the best angle. Wow, you fixed a bunch of it.
Yeah.
So all new tail section, right?
Yeah, all new subframe.
With a more appropriate angle. And if you notice right away, this line matches this line. So we don't have this happening, which is a no-no in my opinion on especially a vintage motorcycle. I could live with this level of tilt and be comfortable.
Yeah.
God, and the sponge, this memory foam.
Dude,
You're getting really good at this.
Should be comfy.
Seat thing. And then we ditched the whole other tank apparatus.
Yes. Part of the client's want was to get that tank to sit lower, so the space between the engine and the tank was more appropriate. Because
there was a big gap.
Because it was mounted really,
Yeah.
really high. And then we switched to a real tank, so the fuel capacity will be greatly increased.
And surprisingly enough, there's enough room underneath the factory tank for all that crap that was hidden underneath the other tank cover thing. There's plenty of room underneath the factory tank.
Yeah.
Did you tunnel it at all?
Nope.
Didn't even have to tunnel it. We still got room for the battery and the wiring and M-unit.
M-unit.
All that
Yeah.
still goes underneath the factory tank. Obviously, I can see they put a different filler in here.
Yeah, we reused the filler from the original.
Okay, that was a nice
the,
one.
The fuel cell.
35-pound
Billet aluminum monster.
filler cap. Also, I noticed one key thing you did with this tail section. It isn't just an angle that's down. The previous, if you guys go back to the video, you could even maybe put in a screenshot of it. You'll see the way this goes in is kind of subtle, and on the other tail section, this support on that one went to the outside of the shock, which looked kind of ridiculous. It made it fatter.
Well, it also made it very asymmetrical.
Yeah.
This isn't quite symmetrical,
Because
but,
it had to suck in.
but
right?
it's pretty close.
It's going to work because your spring is actually here.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It really is it?
Yeah, the spring is below. That
Okay.
shock has a huge adjustment range.
Even when it comes up, it's not going to contact.
Exactly.
It's close, but it's going to work.
And
That's why we have the spring off.
You see the springs off, so we
Clearance
do this
state.
type of work. We check the full range of motion of the suspension. Like this is a pretty good example. If you look, this seat pan is dished because when the wheel comes up at full bump, it's actually filling
up
the space
underneath,
between those frame rails, and so the seat needs a corresponding
Dude,
bump.
this is nice. This is some pro level shit. So Andy has built, you did this or Ty did this?
I
You
did
this? Built a seat pan, shaped it for the rear tire, added these kind of
Little winglets.
winglets, I guess you could call those.
And it's got bead rolling to give it
And the bead
extra
rolling,
strength.
so it's super stout. This is because of the bead rolling itself. It's a lot stronger.
And then one of the other things that I think is pretty fun about this, we
Clips.
use quarter turns to hold that on. So it's basically a toolless removal, which is nice.
You're a toolless removal.
Yeah.
Sorry, you should see your face right now. It looks like you have the most incredible sideburns. They're just black. Chops. That's what that would be called.
That's what happens when you actually work.
I don't do anything. I don't do anything. I just walk around micromanaging the shit out of all you guys, and being clean and not doing any work.
It's getting close. We're getting close to final finishes, and
Are we gonna have to rewire all that to accommodate the new placement?
no.
Alec looked really pleased last time.
I don't know that Alec will be happy, but the plan is to tidy and rearrange and make everything work again.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
We had people.
Should definitely use all black wires when you wire a motorcycle.
We went through this with Alec. Well, people wanted us to call these guys out by name. We're not going to. It's not necessary, but trust us.
Hey, we've made mistakes too. It happens.
Yeah.
You learn from them, you move forward.
We've definitely made mistakes, but there's some negligent things.
Did you all talk about the GS?
The Urban GS?
No, the 450.
Yes. Sorry, the Suzuki GS.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did. Talk about Big Spike. In fact, you might remember more about that bike than I do. I was just like I was like, what is this thing? Suzuki. Oh yeah, what is it? It's a 400, 500, 450? Gee, it's like it's been that long.
Yeah.
I normally can identify a bike by the sound as it
I
goes
had
by.
completely forgotten about it until it showed up.
Speaking of exciting, let's talk about this for a minute. Like, this can be a long daily. Ooh, tie. Let's not get into tie. Tie's not mic'd up. We might in a minute though. This Ducati is really kick-ass.
Maybe want to
what?
have him come around on this side.
Well, yeah, come over here. Let's push it away.
Yeah.
So this bike started off as a Yamaha Virago. No shit. So I still call it a Yamaha Virago. Now a longtime friend and client of ours brought us a Virago that was shaft drive and said, let's convert it to chain drive and let's build a custom bike that essentially looked like this out of the Virago engine, because it has these, the Virago engine is great. It has this vintage air-cooled V-twin feel to it. It kind of reminds me of a Vincent engine in a way.
Yeah.
It's a Vincent feel. And we talked about it, and then finally I was like, man, you want a Ducati, let's just make a Ducati. So we bought this DS motor, which is an 1100 actually, off of eBay, and we started designing a motorcycle from there. So some people will see this as maybe similar to our J63 bike that we built. If you put some screenshots in there, it'd be good for people to see that. The only real similarity between that J63 and this bike design-wise, the only repeatable part, and even then it's not repeatable because it's a different tubing, is two things. It was stainless frame, and we had this arch over the rear cylinder, which was something I really insisted on and really wanted to see happen. And that's it. It looks similar, but it isn't
But it's
similar.
actually very different.
Yeah, it's all completely freaking different. So this is all built in CAD, the entire bike itself. The frame was, this tubing was CNC frame,
Bent and
coped. CNC bent and coped. And then Andy jigged it up and welded it all together. I know we've talked about this, now I'm remembering. I don't want to take it all apart, do I?
Yeah.
This head tube is all machined from solid stainless. These shock mounts are all solid stainless. This swing arm was cut from billet. This is all machined here, cut from billet, CNC by Stefan, designed and cut from billet. The exhaust, you can see we're shaping up using our ICE Engine Works plastic tubing to kind of get an idea for it. Andy has shaped from scratch this entire monocoque body section. You can see what's going to be underneath it. Oh, the CNC stuff is gone. The badges, are they in there?
Yeah, they're in there.
So the badges were just cut really kick-ass. They're cut from CNC. They've taped these back up, but here, let's show you. These were CNC cut aluminum.
To match the profile of the tank.
So they'll go, I think this is the other side. No, this is the one. So there's a profile. Each one of these is very different in shape. They're not flat at all. So those will be epoxied on to the aluminum once we get everything done. Really kick-ass. And then we 3D printed in-house. These are peg mounts that we're experimenting with a peg mount and a brake. Obviously the brake setup that goes in here. The tail light, here, open that up. Something I wanted to kind of show. God, this is just the end. This is the end fun bits. What's been a very long-term project.
So these are our taillight assemblies, two mating pieces. This piece will get welded into, you can see there's a 3D printed version right here. Will get welded into the side of the tail.
And Frenched, a hole will be Frenched in.
Yeah, and then there's a mating piece.
Push this around. Sorry, go ahead, keep talking. It'll be Frenched in here.
Yeah, you can see then there's a corresponding mating piece.
To an LED light.
And a lens
that goes in there.
Also CNC machined.
Yeah, where's that? Is it in there?
It's in a different box.
The lens itself is actually pretty kick-ass. So the idea is this thing is going to be,
that's the lens,
production quality finish or better, but made here, and there's one.
Yeah.
This is not an inexpensive process. Each one of these pieces, we've come to appreciate more the attention to detail that is necessary to build a finished product. I think it's okay for me to talk about this now. This is for the head of design for Dell Computers. So he's used to designing laptops. He's used to designing lots of consumer goods that they make thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of.
And working with professional manufacturers
Yeah.
to just figure out all these problems that we're having to help him solve.
He's never designed a motorcycle. So while working with us, I mean, you guys, if you haven't seen any of these, this is not an image of a motorcycle. That is an image. It's just a print of a CAD rendering. And you can see some of the experiments, right? Like this is experimenting with aluminum. Anyway, we're learning a lot. He's learned a lot. I think at the end of the day, this could end up as a small level production motorcycle. We don't really know. But man, to reproduce this would be crazy expensive. Here,
Yeah.
I'll let you put that away without scratching it up because I'm going to scratch it.
It's only a little bit of money right here.
It's only a couple $1,000s worth of taillight right there. Getting into this, I think we've talked a bit more about this. We did some prototypes before, and now we're doing another prototype of what the grips will look like. This is a little dusty now, but you get the idea. This is a two-piece triple clamp / handlebars that all comes together. This will pop off as a separate piece. Once it's together, you can't even tell that it's two pieces. But it's there it goes actually. There you go. You can see it. This piece alone, machining this together, significant challenge, design-wise, and obviously machine-wise. It doesn't weigh anything now. Anyway, dude, I'm excited about this. It's really starting to come together. It's only been like a billion years.
So we've been waiting on the taillight parts for a while. It's gonna start moving fast again, I think. At least as far as the bodywork goes.
Jesus. That's an update. That's a daily. That's a proper daily. We have walked people through it. Okay, dude. Get back to work. I'll leave you alone. Sorry that we interrupted. You cleaning. Don't forget what you were doing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. See ya.
Go away, nerds.
That's the end of this daily. It's a long daily. Poor Laser's gonna have some editing to do. This is one of the 3 Bruff Superiors that we have in the shop right now. SS100, SS80. There's another SS80 floating around. Oh, there it is. I don't even know, they're all over the place. This is the SS80 everybody's seen me ride around quite a bit. We're taking this bike and that bike and a Cannonball. We leave in 10 days. No worries. We'll get it done. I need to have a meeting about this today. So we're going to try to ride these bikes 4,000 miles cross country. It should be an interesting challenge. Starting, I think, September 10th. Not that long away. No, wait, it's sooner than that. Anyway, this should be lots of fun. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, share this. Tell us you love us, tell us you hate us. Man, it would be really cool if everyone that's watching this video and got to this part clicked the like button and made a comment. Even if it was nasty, I don't care. Say something. Let us know what you're thinking about. If you have questions about other projects or things that you've seen in the background of photos, background of the videos, put it in there. Let us know. Let us know what you want. Thanks a lot.